up, everybody? PG Braun here, president of Blackstone Labs, and I'm standing here with a woman who needs no introduction, but I will introduce her anyway. This is Kendra, my business partner. And we're here today to do what?
Legs.
All right, so we're gonna do a hard leg workout. I'm gonna make it as instructional as possible, and you can enjoy the lovely scenery provided by Kendra. All right, so this is a workout that men can also do, but I'm gonna make this more of a female-specific workout. And most of the women that I deal with, the people that are doing the BPJ, coming on my cardio Q&A, they're far more focused on the backside of their body than the front. So what I like to do is, depending on scheduling, rather than break it up into multiple days, which some women do have the time to do, I can combine everything into one day. We're gonna stimulate everything, but with the ham glute priority. Now, when you do the hamstrings first and you fatigue that area, the hams and glutes will have to keep on firing through the rest of the workout, even when you do quad flexion. So I like to start with hamstrings and finish with those compound exercises at the end. Lying hamstring curl is a great way to warm up the entire hamstring. Now, the most important thing when you do this is having the pad in the right spot, so Kendra is not tall. So I move the pad all the way up for her. You want it to basically rest on the end of your Achilles tendon. So when she lays in here, and this is a warm-up set, so we have the weight, it's resting right basically on the back of her heels, her Achilles tendon. You want to make sure your hips stay pressed in, and you just drive through your heels and your Achilles tendon, bringing the weight up to your butt. Okay. Controlling it slow on the way down, and then bringing it back up. I always say to start with a few sets of 15 reps just to get the blood moving, so I'll have her do 15 reps.
Should I come all the way up?
Yep, you're doing it perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to bring the pad all the way up to where it's literally just about touching your glutes. So, as you see, her toes are straight. That's very important. Now, it's not wrong to move your toes in different directions, but with the toes straight like this, you will activate all of the muscles. And you can actually see, she's very lean, so you can actually see the muscle pushing through her pants. She's holding her hips down on the pad. Very, very important as well. When you jack your hips up, you start pulling with your hips, which you don't want. You want the focus back here. I actually lost count, so you can stop now if you want. We're just warming up.
Perfect.
Good. At least 15 on here.
Where did you get it?
Keep going.
I just wanted to give you time to recover.
Just a couple more. Do 2 more. 1 more. Good. All right, so you want to do a few warm-up sets that do not count at all. That's just range of motion to get the blood flowing. I suggest doing that for all of your body parts. And then from there, the working sets, I have her doing 4 sets of 15. You want to progress up in weight, but you don't want to, as they say, blow your load early in the workout. You want to make sure that you're getting everything lubricated, the blood into the muscle first. Now, I'm going to show you a great variation that you can do on this. We're going to make the weight very light because it's tricky. I am a big advocate of mixing unilateral and bilateral movements, and a lot of gyms don't have single leg hamstring curl machines. Now, you can do a single leg hamstring curl on the lying hamstring curl. You're going to have to make the weight very light, so I'm going to make sure the weight's super light for her. And it's the same form, but you're going to do 1 leg at a time. Now, it's going to feel awkward. Now, when you just use 1 leg, you think, I'll just cut the weight in half. It is very tricky because you're balancing the weight with that 1 leg, so it's going to be far more challenging. So we'll have Kendra demonstrate now. You're just going to do 1 leg at a time. Just stay with that leg. Okay. Now, you don't want to come explosive with it because the pad can leave your Achilles tendon and then crash back down, and that's when injuries happen. You want to do very, very slow, controlled movements, contracting as you come up, squeezing, so the muscle's firing real hard. I can feel the muscles firing and activating. That's what you want. Good.
Maybe a little faster?
You can go a tiny bit faster, but slow is good on this. It's an isolation exercise. You don't want to rush these.
Got it.
The slower you do it, the more the muscle's going to be under tension for a longer time. And that time under tension is going to keep the muscle firing, and you're going to recruit more muscle fibers to do the workload. Let's do 4 more.
Okay.
3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And if you have somebody helping you out, you just want to guide them along so they're not getting stuck. Good. Now we'll switch legs.
Okay.
Good. Hips are always down.
Yep.
Good. You can also spot on the machine like this. You don't need a spot though.
I don't know if you want me to keep going.
All right, so we're moving on now to a Romanian deadlift. The difference between the Romanian deadlift and the stiff leg deadlift. The stiff leg deadlift, your leg literally is stiff the whole time. You're gonna feel it in the insertion back here more. The fire will activate here first and then travel up. Now with a Romanian deadlift, you have a soft knee and the actual extension is coming from your hips. You're reaching your hips back with the soft knee as far as you can. And you'll feel it more in the insertion up here where the tie-in, as they call it in the industry, it's not a real medical term, but the tie-in or the insertion point is up in your glute. So you're gonna focus on that area more, which I find for women is a very, very difficult spot. It's a trouble area. This is a good way to target that. Now, I'm gonna show you the demonstration first with Kendra, and then we're gonna do a superset with the Dumbbell Pa Squat, which we'll do for the actual working sets, but I want you guys to see the proper form on this first. Now, as far as hand positioning goes, myself, I like to just do an over-over grip, but I find that many women feel stronger with an over-under grip. Typically, the underhand is your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, that's typically the hand that you'll go. If you're left-handed, you'd be like that, but it's really a matter of whatever you're comfortable with. You can balance the weight a little bit easier with an over-under grip. I just personally feel better with over-over. Both ways are right. So Kendra will demonstrate the form. Good, perfect. Perfect. So notice your hips are coming back and the actual workload is starting here in the insertion of the hand to the glute. All right, so I like to superset this exercise with the Dumbbell Pa Squat. We're just warming up right now, but I'm gonna go over a little bit with the Dumbbell Pa Squat. So this is a wide stance with the toes all the way out, just like a plie in ballet, hence the name. And you're gonna hold the weight in front of you. Make sure you have good posture, shoulders back, military posture they call it. And you are going to come down letting your knees travel out over your toes, okay? So your knees are gonna travel over your toes until the dumbbell literally touches the floor. So you're gonna actually drop to below 90 degrees. And then as you come up, you're driving through your heels and squeezing your glutes very hard at the top, going all the way back down. You're just gonna tap the dumbbell on the floor, come back up. And every rep, you want to squeeze your glutes at the top. You're gonna be fatigued already in the insertion. This is gonna really, really drive more blood into the area. I'll have to demonstrate. Have you done these?
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes people will hold the weight up here. I don't know the difference.
I don't feel comfortable doing it
Me
like that.
either.
The main thing that I see people do wrong is they don't let their knees go over your toes, which you're doing right. Perfect. And you always push through your heels and squeeze your butt at the top. Perfect form, actually. Do two more. Good, rest. Perfect.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Look good. Perfect form. Good job. Very good. One more. Good. All right, now that I have Kendra tired out, we're gonna go into a compound exercise. Now, you can do squats here, but the reason that I'm gonna have her specifically do squats in the Smith machine is this is something that you would never be able to do with a free weight. We're gonna actually have her put her feet about 3 to 6 inches forward. So she's gonna be at a slight angle. As you see, I'm leaning back to kind of show you what I mean. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because when you come down at an angle like that, we're gonna generate so much force directly from the glutes. Now, if you were doing this with a free weight, you'd get knee flexion and of course the hip extension and flexion, so you're working many muscles at once. By putting your feet forward in a Smith machine like this, you can overload the glutes, fire hard on the glutes. Now, a lot of guys don't want to do this. A lot of guys, they just want to do a regular barbell squat, stimulate their quads like crazy as well too, but women I find typically are prioritizing the glutes and hams more, and this is a way to do just that. And I'm not working out, so we'll have Kendra go back into her routine and demonstrate. Good.
Should I be wider?
No, you're pretty good like that. You can go a little bit wider. The wider you go,
Okay.
the more of the inner thigh you're going to stimulate too. You'll get more adductor in there.
Gotcha.
Good, perfect. Good. Do 2 more. 1 more. Good. Rest. All right, moving on to walking dumbbell lunges. Pretty simple exercise. You're just going to be stepping forward, then dropping the glute straight down. A lot of people just keep lunging forward. That's wrong. So when you step, you drop. You don't step and keep going forward. You probably can't see that on the camera, but so you step, you take your big step, and then you drop the back leg. That's the common thing that most people do wrong. Yep.
Okay, okay.
You want to take the biggest step that you can, so it is a true lunge. And when you're down, you're pushing through your glutes, not your toes.
Got it.
When you push through your toe, you flex your quad. You don't want that. So everything comes from the heel to keep the focus on the glutes. We're gonna go right down this way, turn around, come back. Everything that we're doing today is 5 sets, guys. Lots of volume, but very, very fast. You can do all this in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Good. Getting tired?
Little.
Let's do 1 more step, then we'll turn around.
Okay. That is not me stopping, right?
Good. So this is a glute extension machine. Every gym has some variation of this machine, especially now that gyms have become so populated by women. Women are very, very focused on their butts. We are in the age of the booty now. And I like the old Body Master machine where you're actually down on the floor in the prone position and you're driving through your heel up straight. Jane Fonda used to do those moves in all her old workout videos back in the day. Now they have all these fancy machines where you're not on the floor, but you're still doing the same motion. Not the biggest fan of this particular machine, although it does work the same way. You're isolating each individual glute muscle. It is essentially like doing a concentration curl when you do your biceps. It is essentially that same sort of isolated contraction, but for the butt. And you can actually start your workout with this exercise and pre-exhaust the glutes, or you can finish it and just finish them off. Today we're using them as a finisher. We're gonna do 15 reps on each leg, 4 sets total. Kendra will demonstrate. Her butt's better than mine. So this, you just push through your heel straight.
And I'm holding, no, that's it.
You're right here, yep, and you're just driving it back. You want your heel, there you go. You want to push it all the way back and then squeeze it for a second at the top. Squeeze your butt for a second so you really feel it right through the insertion and driving it through it. Now you can, some people feel better standing back farther with this leg.
Yes, it's maybe where the feet
Does that feel better? Just because when you're sandwiched in, you can feel it in your back and your core a little bit more. You want to try to keep the hips straight the whole time. As you get fatigued, you're going to have a tendency to turn and rotate. You want to try to make sure you're concentrating on keeping the hips straight, not fighting with this leg. Good. Do a couple more. Do 1 more. Switch legs. Good. Good. One more. Grab it all the way back. Good. All right, we are finished. We did legs today. I didn't do anything. You did all the work. How do you feel? A little sweaty, a little bit?
Yeah, a little sweaty, a little tired. I'm good. Yeah.
These videos are going to be hosted in a couple different spots, but I wanted to do more instructional stuff for the BPJ. So for all the women out there that are doing the competition, this is a great workout, especially if you're maximized for time, where you can hit your whole lower body in about 45 minutes. You want to be moving at a fast pace. 4 sets per exercise. If you feel you're more advanced, you can go to push it to 5. Make sure you're warming up though in the beginning. Like we said, I am PG Braun, president of Blackstone Labs. This is Kendra Luss, my beautiful partner. And that's it, as always. Peace out, bye.